Hey, what's up? I have been using Poco X3 for more than a week now, and I found out a few drawbacks of this smartphone. Actually, I still think it is the best budget smartphone of 2020, but you need to know about some drawbacks before you buy it. Perhaps this phone is not for you. Okay, let's start with pros of Poco X3 and then talk about cons of the new Xiaomi phone. The first big surprise for me in Poco X3 was 120Hz display. The new smartphone costs only $200, but it has a 6.67-inch Full HD display with 120Hz refresh rate. You can really see the difference between the 60Hz and 120Hz screens. For example, Poco X3 is very smooth in Instagram. Also, it is much better to play games on the 120Hz display. If we start talking about games, I have to say that Poco X3 has a very good performance. The new smartphone is powered by the new Snapdragon 732G chipset. Poco X3 has a very high score in Antutu, almost 280,000. Also, it runs heavy games without any problems, such as PUBG Mobile, Call of Duty, Shadowgun Legends, and others. You can watch our video with performance test of Poco X3 by the link in description. You know, the software of Poco X3 smartphone is the pros and cons. Let me first tell you what I liked about it, and then what I don't like. Poco X3 runs on the latest MIUI 12 user interface. It is based on Android 10 operating system. There are many new functions in MIUI 12, but most of all I like the new control center. It looks similar to iOS, but I really like it. Poco X3 is a budget smartphone, but it has very good camera. There is 64 megapixels main sensor, 13 megapixels ultra-wide-angle lens, 2 megapixels macro camera, and 2 megapixels depth camera on the rear panel. The front camera is 20 megapixels. You can watch our video with camera test of Poco X3. We took photos in different light conditions and shooting modes. Also, I like stabilization in 4K video recording. The footage is very good. I didn't know about this before buying Poco X3, but the new phone has a dual speaker. This is a flagship feature in the budget smartphone. In general, the sound quality is very good. By the way, Poco X3 also has 3.5mm audio jack. It can be useful for some people. Finally, I was very impressed by battery charging time. It takes only 1 hour to charge the battery. It is very fast. You don't need to wait long to recharge the battery. To be honest, I don't really like the design of Poco X3. From one side, it has a good hole-punch display and very interesting back panel. However, the smartphone is quite big for me. It is not very comfortable to use with one hand. Also, it is quite thick, 9.4mm. The main camera protrudes from the rear panel, so it is better to use protective silicone case. By the way, the rear panel is made of plastic. It is not a big problem for me, but it really feels cheaper than a glass. I have already said that I like the camera of Poco X3. I like the main camera, ultra-wide angle, and even bokeh. However, I don't see much point in macro camera. To me, the main camera takes the same photos as the macro camera, perhaps even a little better. I will not use the macro camera on Poco X3. As I already said, Poco X3 runs on the latest Android 10 operating system and MIUI 12 user interface. The new UI has many new useful functions. However, there are also many bloatware and pre-installed apps out of the box. Some of them you can remove, but Xiaomi pre-installed apps are uninstalled. You can only hide them. I have a version with 64 gigs of internal memory, so I don't want the apps that I don't use. They only take up the memory. However, I cannot delete them. I think that's all about drawbacks that I found in Poco X3. You know, they are not insignificant in comparison with advantages. The new Xiaomi Poco X3 is a very good smartphone for its price. Thank you for watching this video. Hit the like button and subscribe to our channel Tech Brothers.